And I need to bring the show notes up.
Show notes.
Showboats.
Hmm.
Steamboat.
I've been using Stage Manager. I think I kind of like it.
Stage Manager?
Yeah, on the Mac.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, it's
One of
under
my
system settings.
one of my chief complaints about the Mac is window management, and always, um, if you get too much stuff going on, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to just flip between them. Like on Windows.
Stage Manager arranges your recent windows into a single strip
Mhm.
for reduced clutter and quick access. Let's
Yeah.
customize. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like tabs off to the side of your active windows. What's the difference between that and the dock?
Well, because on the Stage Manager, it's all your windows. You can see them right there. The
Is
dock
Command Tab too hard to use?
Command Tab doesn't go between two different windows. You have to
Yeah,
do
kind of does.
you have to pull down on your uh on your trackpad with four fingers to see all the windows on a particular app.
It's push up with all of them to see them on the display. But yeah, I
Yeah.
flip between
If you
command.
on
I use
Chrome and you got two windows open, pull down, it shows you all of the open windows
okay.
for that app.
Well, that's
Not
when you use command tilde. You go to that app and you do command tilde.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you use Stage Manager,
Yeah.
it's like it opens up one window at a time, so your desktop is not cluttered with a bunch of stuff. It's to help you focus a little bit more on
My
the app at hand.
my desktop is rarely cluttered with stuff. I usually run things in full screen.
Great. I'm happy for you. I'm just saying.
Don't try to get 18 apps on the screen at the same
I'm
time. You
saying
won't
when
be able to
it
see
gets
anything.
cluttered, for me, when it gets cluttered, it's cluttered. It's hard to see. Um, but I like this way because I can open up Todoist. That's the only app on the screen. I click on the Stage Manager, StreamYard. There it is.
I
Open up
mean,
our show notes. Goes
this
back and
is a
forth.
typical way of I share entire screen. Screen 1, screen 2. And this is a typical way that I'll run Chrome all day. Just
Hold
have
on. Sorry, I was
multi-tabs, and that's Chrome. And if I wanna go to my other app, let's say I'm running TextEdit.
not multi tabs. I said multi windows, but yes.
Okay, yeah, alright. So, we'll do multi-window, so there's a new Chrome window, and if I go to, Google, which it already was, you go, "Okay, there, command tilde,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding," not a major thing.
No, but I'm just
This
saying
must
that
be
if
for
you
people who don't really get keyboard shortcuts, which in my opinion is a complete waste of
Oh, I live on short
opportunity.
keyboard shortcuts. All I'm saying to you is that I like that the open windows are on the side there. I can be watching a YouTube video and it be on the Stage Manager that's a live view of the thing.
Yeah,
I don't have to sit there and watch it. I can hear it. I go, oh, I need to see, or even a Zoom call. Maybe I'm taking notes or something.
I'll give it a shot.
I'm just saying, give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot.
Now you can tell it to if you open now like at work. I have my personal profile for Chrome, and I have my work profile for Chrome. So I may have two Chrome windows. Two different profiles, and I can switch between them pretty easy. That's all I'm saying.
Alright, let's share this on social media so somebody actually shows up.
Yeah.
Share. Public. Ta-da. Alright.
Where is that show up in my feed? All right, here we go. Share. All right.
Try to mute if you're gonna sniff your nose
What? I'm smelling.
or blow your nose. Sounds like you got a runny nose.
Not really. Hold on a second.
Here's where I get to put in sound effects.
With friends like you, I swear.
You ready?
Yes, fine. Let's do it.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 733, Playing with the Speed of Light. Hello and welcome to Technorama, the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. That's what it says on the shirt. I'm going with it because I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh, well, I was wearing it actually, but
if this is your first time listening or watching Technorama, welcome. We appreciate you showing up. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. We still appreciate you showing up. And my name is Chuck Tomasi. I am from sunny Phoenix, Arizona. And with me, as always, is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I am okay. Actually, the temperature's changing a little bit here.
Warmer?
No.
Colder.
Yeah. It's not as cold as some places in the country, but it's getting a little cooler out there.
All right. Yeah, it is a bit chilly. I heard they had, what was it, like 20 below in Iowa, and they're supposed to do the Iowa caucuses today.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about 20, but I know I saw -4. I was like, that's bad enough. I can imagine -20.
Ooh, I woke up to frost on the roofs the other day.
And somebody left the freezer open. What's the temperatures there in Phoenix?
What did we have today? I think it was about 68 was the high.
Oh,
the low was 42 or something. It fluctuates by about 25 degrees.
Yeah, I think we made 58 or something. It wasn't too bad.
Those are
too bad during the day.
In U.S. freedom units, by the way. That I'll convert to everyone else.
Right.
So 68 would be about 20. I know, but I was talking to a guy from Wisconsin today, and I was inspired to reach out to him because yesterday on Facebook I saw he was practicing his disc golf in his shorts in 2 feet of snow.
Right.
Wait, Tom, that's hardcore stuff. So I reached out to him today, and we had a good laugh about that. I said, "Hey, there's a reason I'm out here. I don't have to shovel the sunshine."
I know people that wear shorts no matter what the weather's like.
Oh yeah,
it
looked like he was playing like right up to the basket, and then it dumped 2 feet of snow. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
All right, we have some feedback from last time, so let's jump right into that.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Read that in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say. Oh boy! Mailman, mail today.
Hey, so I thought, for once I got a piece of paper here I can rip on camera. Usually I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I keep forgetting.
So then you fake one?
And then I ripped it. Then I ripped it, and I went, "Wait, is that a receipt I need for work?"
No. Yes, it was.
It was. Yeah.
Our question of the week last week was fill in the blank. The reason I run or play Dungeons and Dragons is blank and wrong answers only. So
I play because I want admiration from my peers.
I play because I want a quick, painful death.
Painful death.
Steve London plays because I'm a grown-up man, the head of the house at home.
Sure.
Lone Guys Night says, I play because a classified military secret. Listener Fritz says, because I want to rescue Princess Leia from the dragon.
That's Dragon's Lair.
It's not Princess Leia. That sounds like something I said to Donna yesterday. We're looking at taking trips, and she goes, "Oh, you want to take an Alaskan cruise?" And I said, "Sure." "You want to take the side trip to Denali?" I said, "Denali's not just a river in India."
From Alaska's a side trip way over here.
Stephen Weshy says, because all the cool kids do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's clearly the wrong answer.
Yeah. Well, Steve London says, Stephen Weshy, well, Nowadays they do. It's pretty cool. Not like back when I was a teen and only the nerds played. It was more okay to be gay than it was to play D&D. Wow. At least in my school. No, it's
I'm
terrible.
not sure what you could do in school that didn't get you beat up.
Anything out of the norm. is
What
gonna
was
get you beat up.
normal?
Well,
Playing football?
hey, I'm not saying normal was right. I'm just saying if you were outside of the normal social graces, then you were weird.
But if you
That's
hung
what it is.
around with people that did that, like if you
Oh,
had
yeah.
a D&D group, that was the norm for that group.
Oh, I knew my place.
I mean, I've got friends who played their fair share of hockey and football and whatnot, and they are
Yeah.
messed up right now. So
Sure.
I
Well,
think we got away okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, I knew my crowd. That's all I'm saying.
Who's holding the stock options now?
As a matter of fact, my crowd back then is not much different from the crowd I know now. I have now.
Now it's podcasting nerds.
This is a bunch of nerds, podcasting nerds,
Sure, why not?
or
All right,
Dragon
that's all-
Con. It's a various nerds. Yeah.
That's all the answers we got now. Yeah, you go to Dragon Con. It's tens of thousands of them.
Yeah.
And the Star Trek cruise is coming up, which is even, wow, that's where you get the nerds and the gays.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I want to see them beat up somebody else.
Oh no!
It's
You're gonna-
payback
No,
time.
don't start that on the cruise.
No, it's probably one of the friendliest environments I've ever been in.
Oh, it is. Everybody seems pretty cool.
Everybody's cool.
If there's a jerk there, it's hard to find them.
Maybe that's what you should cosplay.
Kirk is a jerk.
Oh, that would be too easy.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's the end of. Oh, wait. Stop. We got an email from Tom Pose, longtime listener.
Oh,
Tom.
yeah. Okay.
He said, "You remember our old texting discussion from a long time ago?" We've had many, so I'm going to say yes.
I'm sure.
He said, "Well, I have a new phrase from a church sign, and I love church signs. They're very catchy. It said, honk if you love Jesus. Text if you want to meet him."
Oh boy. Wow.
That's
Don't text and
awesome.
pray.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for permission. I just said, we're using that in the next episode,
Yeah, that's right.
which is in about 2 hours. Okay, on with the closing music and to the next segment. Because we can't do the history without this. There we go. On this day in history for January 17th, 2024. What?
How many days are left? Oh, there it is.
349 because we're on day 17. It's
That's
a
right.
366 day bonus leap year. It was on this date in 1524 that Giovanni de Verenzano set sail westward from Madeira to find a sea route to the Pacific Ocean, and he ran into the Verenzano Narrows Bridge.
And it was also on this date in 1773 that the Captain James Cook led the first expedition to sail south to the Antarctic Circle.
Very cool. Didn't you run into the Hawaiian Islands when they were still the Sandwich Islands?
Sure.
Okay. It was also on this date in 1912 that the British polar explorer Captain Robert Falcon Scott reached the South Pole 1 month after Roald Amundsen.
And 74 years ago today, 11 thieves stole more than $2 million from an armored car company offices in Boston as part of the Great Brinks robbery.
I can just see that polar explorer expedition with a little sign on a pole.
Yeah,
He made it here first.
right.
Good luck getting back.
Yeah.
U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower delivered a televised farewell address to the nation 3 days before leaving office, in which he warned against the accumulation of power by the, quote, military-industrial complex, as well as the dangers of massive spending, especially deficit spending, on this date in 1961. I'm not... because he delivered his farewell address on television, and that
Yeah.
was like a new thing.
Yeah, it was a new thing then. And also on January 17th, 2007, the doomsday clock was set 5 minutes to midnight in response to North Korea's nuclear testing.
All it said was, bing, bing, bing.
It's like the movie The
You're
Watchmen where they
doomed.
reach up and
Doomsday clock.
yeah.
Happy birthday goes out on this date to German physician and botanist Leonhard Fuchs, born on this date in 1501.
And English physician, astrologer, and mathematician Robert Flood, who was, he is really, I was going to say related to Elmer Flood.
No,
But
he just wore the really short pants.
was born 450 years ago today.
American publisher, inventor, and politician, the sixth president of Pennsylvania, Benjamin Franklin, was born on this date in 1706. He invented a lot of cool stuff.
And born January 17th, 1834, German biologist, zoologist, and genetist August Weismann.
Geneticist.
Weismann.
August Weismann.
Yeah.
Carl Laemmle, the German-born American film producer, co-founded Universal Studios. That's what he's better known for. He was born that same date in 1867.
Now, there's a special character in this L, so
just pronounce it as an L. You'll be safe.
Antoni Limnicki, the Polish mathematician and academic, was born 143 years ago today.
American pilot and businessman, the guy who founded the Glenn L. Martin Company, which I believe later became part of Martin Marietta. Glenn L. Martin was born on the date in 1886.
He had no problem putting his name on the sign.
What a coincidence that he started working at that company that had his name on the sign.
Right. An American mob boss, Al Capone, was born 125 years ago today.
Jewel Plummer Cobb. Why should you remember that name?
Because they made the Cobb salad.
And Jules. And was also a plumber, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's an American biologist, cancer researcher, and academic. And she was born today in 1924.
English-American hairdresser and businessman. That's something to put on your resume. Vidal Sassoon, born on the date in 1928.
When you look good, we look good. Oh, wait, this is an audio podcast.
Right. Yeah, we don't have to look good at all.
American actor. Oh, we now know when Darth Vader was born.
Well, look at there.
James Earl Jones is 93 today.
That's right. And born January 17th, 1933, American actress, puppeteer, ventriloquist, and television host, Sherry Lewis.
Lamb chops.
Yeah, lamb chop. Yep.
American computer scientist and academic, Anita Borg.
That's the Borg.
Yes, born 75 years ago today. Now we know where it all started.
Yeah. Watch out, Picard. So born January 17th, 1949, American actor and comedian, Andy Kaufman.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Canadian-American actor and producer Jim Carrey was born on this date in 1962.
Oh, that's interesting. Jim Carrey and Andy Kaufman share the same birthday.
Well, different years, but yeah, same birthday.
Yeah. Also turning 54 today is Russian-American animator, director, producer of Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Symbionic Titan, Hotel Transylvania, Primal, Unicorn Warriors Eternal, Gendy Tartakovsky.
Gendy Tartakovsky. Did you ever watch any of those?
Oh, yes. I say Dexter's Samurai Jack, which was great. The Clone Wars was good. It was that short version of the Clone Wars where
it was like the prequel to what the public is aware.
Yeah, there
of.
was an animated Clone Wars, but there was also one before it, and that was it.
Thank you, Jack Mangan, for straightening me out on that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay.
Yeah, no, Gendy's version of Clone Wars was more like what you see the animation style in Samurai Jack or Dexter.
Yeah.
Not the CG
It
stuff.
ran like a season or two. It was very short. And there were short episodes.
All right. We're going to get to the birthdays because the music is running out. Darn it, missed it. Well, let's go ahead anyway. And we're going to cruise on up a few weeks because we've got a couple of weeks off. I will be out on vacation, holiday, enjoying some sunshine. So we're going to get a whole bunch of birthdays. January 17th is Fuffy Frog, a.k.a. Christina, originally from Canada, but now from Thailand. Hope you're still there.
Yeah.
And listening. 21st of January is Michael Rabelais, TAW012294. Why aren't you at your post? Is on the 22nd.
Right.
3 birthdays on the 23rd. Kathy Luke from Illinois. Chris Moody from Pod Media Chat. Is that the same Chris A. Moody we hear on the Dog Days?
Yeah.
Maybe. 23rd is also Keith Lane from TG Geeks, or formerly TG Geeks. Cynthia Fry on the 24th. 25th is Craig Steppy.
Yes, right.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Everybody
Will,
mispronounces his name.
Will the Computer Guy is on the 26th. 27th, we have Mark in Memphis and Chip Burkhead from the Scotchcast. 29th is Sarah P. from NJ, who was born in OK, moved to VA, married Brad P., moved to NJ, and now is back in VA.
Wow.
I love that one. That's
Yeah. No.
It's like
It's
a
grown over the years.
Dr. Seuss book at this point.
I know.
February 1st, 2 birthdays. Matt Baum, aka Racer X from Pittsburgh, and Brandon Kirkwold in Minnesota. No, Brandon from Kirkwold, Minnesota. I'm not sure which way that reads. 3 birthdays on the 2nd, including a patron, Gary Lindros,
That's
aka
right.
Gary from Jacksonville. Groundhog Day rules. He just has his birthday over and over and over.
Wow.
That
He's
would make
lucky.
you really old really fast.
He's like 72.
In one day.
In one
Chuck
day.
Provenzano, aka Podlurker, aka Chuck Siegel twin.
Yeah, right.
Is that where he went?
That is where he went.
Didn't we say it was no, that was Verenzano earlier. The Oreo Cookie Monster is also on the 2nd. Happy birthday, Cookie. Ewan Campbell McGregor from Scotland, UK is on the 3rd.
Right.
Oh, we got some famous people in here. That's the way it was on this day in history for January 17th and beyond. And beyond.
And beyond.
For if you want to get your name on the birthday calendar, you can go over to chuckchat.com/birthday. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. Where's the banner? Where's the banner? He's looking. He's looking.
Oh, am I supposed to be looking for that? Oh,
Wow. Well-oiled machine after all this time.
yes.
Okay. There's the birthday banner, chuckchat.com/birthday. And then we move on to
Good news, nobodies.
well, it's not exactly good news because you remember the lunar lander that was going to go up a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
We talked about it on this show and it misfired. I'm sure everybody's well aware of that. Well, they're bringing it back and it's going to burn up. So sorry, Gene Roddenberry DNA and Arthur C. Clarke DNA and many expensive experiments. You're going down in flames.
Wow.
What do you do if you're that company? Do you go back and say, "Can we have some more DNA?"
I want my money back.
Just go look for a hairbrush and grab some hair. Oh wait, he didn't have a hairbrush. Both those guys were bald by the end.
Wow.
No,
Yeah,
that's a sad
it does think it is setting aside the genetic stuff, their material they were taking up, but look at all the money that's spent on this whole rocket. Not only the
$100
fuel, but
million
everything from the fuel up.
right down the flusher.
Yeah.
That's got to cost you your job. Or you keep those people on because they can learn from experience. You don't hire a bunch of other noobs that are going to make other dumb mistakes. Which
Yeah.
way do you go as a company? Okay. Well, also in space and related NASA news, they finally got the lid off of the stubborn asteroid sample that came back from Bennu.
I should have put this in follow up.
Another follow-up. It's been, what, about 3 months? When
Yeah.
they went to Bennu, 100 million miles away, they came back, they picked up their Amazon package in the Utah desert.
And they couldn't find something to open the package.
There were something like 34 bolts later, 34,
Yeah. I
35
can't,
fasteners on the Tag Sam head could not be removed. 2 of the 35. It's like when you're taking apart anything in a car, it's like, I got 4 bolts, and it's always the last one that's seized up.
or you took out. Yeah. You know, it's always either the first one I have trouble with or the last one.
Yep.
And it's always that one that's in a weird spot. So when your tool comes off of the bolt, you strip your knuckles on something.
Yeah. That's something my brothers and I would always say. You're not having fun till you smash your knuckles.
Oh man.
You know you have to apply the force, but you don't want to because you know you're going to smash your knuckles, and certainly, you smash your knuckles.
I remember last time I worked on my car really good. It was probably my Beetle, and the battery, because of the shape of the new Beetles,
Mhm.
the battery would sit a little under the driver's side fender. So to get it out was a pain because you got to get rid of the little mounting bolt that holds the battery down. Get that out, and then I scratched my knuckles on the side of the car. I'm like, okay, wait a sec. After I finished cursing, go to try it again. And I swear I must have hit the same spot like 3 or 4 times. I just wanted to throw the battery on the ground when I finally got it out.
Harrison learning a few new words that day.
Yes. Hey, my dad listens to our show. I'm gonna tell you something. One time, all right, I know we're going on a tangent, but one time dad was showing me how to replace the brakes on a car.
Yes.
And he was showing me on this car had a spring that he was using the screwdriver to push over so it would click.
So they're brake shoes.
Hmm?
Brake shoes, not brake pads.
Yeah, well, right. You know what I'm talking about. So, but there was a spring, and he was pushing the spring or something like that. Anyway, the tool came loose, jabbed his hand, and my dad does not swear, but I heard him swear that day, and I will never forget it. I remember. I won't share the word he said, but yeah, that was
What's it
interesting.
rhyme with, Craig?
Kit. But that was my eyebrows went, whoa, he must really hurt.
For the first time you hear your parents swear or say a dirty word or something, it's like,
I know.
oh, you told me not to use those words. What are you doing?
Yeah. So I wonder if that happened to one of these NASA engineers. They were trying to, and it gave and it crushed their knuckles. Actually, look at this over engineered ratchet that they've got.
They had to make custom tools to open this baby up, which
But
begs
look at
the
it.
question, why didn't they have the tools ready when it came back?
But look what's funny is the bit part looks like any bit you would have in your toolbox, but the rest of it looks like way over engineered. I'm like, we could have just got my little my Roby drill.
No, you can't. No, you can't. They actually had to construct things out of
Right.
non-magnetic stainless steel because
Well,
magnetism
yeah.
could disrupt you gotta be like uber cleanly. This is in one of those reverse pressure cabinets with the gloves you stick your hands into. It's
Well, I also thought they probably obviously didn't want to strip those bolts, but if they did, what if they had metal filings that
right.
came loose or something and
Yep.
they kind of contaminate the material possibly? I
Doesn't
don't
take
know.
much to contaminate any of that.
Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, I know it just looked I just like the look of that over engineered ratchet
it's
looking
NASA.
tool. It's great. No, it's
Okay,
very NASA. That's why I
in
love it.
other news, the
Uh-huh.
Chinese have come out with a 3-volt battery that could last up to 50 years.
Wonderful.
It only has like 100 milliamps of power, but hey, yep. They're
Yeah, it's
hoping to
also
have
a nuclear battery.
they're hoping to have a higher powered one soon, but and the article goes on to say they're also working on one that could be powered by isotope. Now, this one is powered by nickel 63. I
Right.
didn't know there was an isotope named nickel 63, but they make this little sandwich between that and diamond semiconductor converters. So this thing probably isn't, as cheap as a CR2032.
No.
But never mind that. It'll last 50 years. How many CR2032s are you going to go through?
Well, it's also 3 volts. So I don't know what you're going to use it on. Your phone? Nope. Laptop? Nope.
What, the CR2032 is a 3-volt battery.
Oh, you'd put it in your key fob
Well,
for your
the thing is,
car?
right. Or medical equipment. Think about that in a
Maybe
pacemaker.
webcam, you could
Yeah.
you could do something like that. No, I just thought it was funny. I was like, "Oh, cool, a battery that lasts 50 years." I went reading it and I'm like, "Oh, it's only 3 volts."
It doesn't sound that cheap. No, well, a lot of circuits run off a 3-volt. My Arduino Nano will run off of 3 volts,
Yeah, for something like that. I was thinking,
but it'll go through the life of that. It'll
oh,
suck up more
the
than
other
the
article was
milliwatt.
the other article was talking about Microsoft was wanting to use it for a laptop. I was like,
Well,
3 volts?
eventually they said if we can make these big enough and more powerful enough, you could have a mobile phone you never have to charge.
No, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. And they're also looking at using other isotopes such as strontium-90, promethium-147, and deuterium to develop atomic energy batteries with higher power levels and even longer service lives up to 230 years.
Wait, deuterium, that's what they use on the Starship
The
in
bomb.
Star Trek.
No. It's heavy water.
Heavy water?
It is.
What, deuterium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up. So
not-
230 years. You could have a battery that lasts way
Mhm.
longer than you'd ever live. So when they say lifetime warranty, they mean it.
Yeah. Imagine being in your 60s. Oh, finally, I got one of those 50-year batteries.
No, you're in your 60s and your 50-year
Yeah.
battery gives out.
I think they-
that,
I
that
think they did-
surgery I had when I was 12.
Yeah, didn't they say that there was a similar kind of battery they used for pacemakers or something? And they were looking at using it for pacemakers.
Yeah, they said medical is one of the industries that they're looking at using this. They gotta get the wattage up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, quick shout out to the chat room. Who do we have hanging out with us tonight? I didn't even look in the chat room. I was stuck
Speak.
on banners.
Oh,
Speak.
there we go. Mark B. Lee.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
Wow, we're among royalty. And Mike Robinson's in the house.
Yeah, so Mark B. Lee was saying a point, which the genetic the DNA for everybody that was on it's on a different flight. It was on a different flight, and not the
So
lander.
we didn't lose Gene Roddenberry's DNA.
No.
The article made it sound like we did.
Yeah. That's what I thought. But at first, I was like, I think it was something different. I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure.
They used DHL instead.
DHL.
If you're around on Sundays, typically we do this Sundays at 8:30 Eastern time, we'd love to see you in the chat. Join us and others for a lively discussion that happens while we blurt out nonsense. Now, remember when? Where is it? There it is.
All right.
Get that faded down so we don't get a copyright thing from YouTube.
Yeah.
Remember when the dinosaurs roamed the earth? We're just about that old to remember that. Well,
Yeah.
there is a discovery of fossils in New Mexico that suggests there was a relative of T-Rex that roamed around 6 to 7 million years before T-Rex. And T-Rex is generally found up in the Wyoming area. So they said, the jaw is a little bit different. The ridges around the eyes are a little bit different. This could be a different species and change the theory that T-Rex came across on a land bridge because this one was here before that. Maybe T-Rex originated in the Americas. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the nuts and bolts of this. It's similar size, about 40 feet long. They call it T. macraensis, which I don't know if that's named after somebody or they just made that up.
Doesn't have the same ring as T-Rex, though.
Yeah, and they'll never get a band name by that.
Yeah.
Bang a gong, get it on. That was Bang a Gong by T. macraensis.
That's right. I think they need to get back with a marketing team on that name.
So T-Rex showed up about 68 million years ago, but this guy showed up about 73 million years ago. Now,
Wow.
not everybody's on board with this. So, of course, you got to have your balancing. What was it? Jared Voris, who studies Tyrannosaurus biology at the University of Calgary in Canada, he wasn't part of the original study for this new dinosaur, but he says, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
We got to look and see if it is distinct enough to call it a new species.
I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Or if it's just like, the different kinds of lemurs that, I don't know.
Lemur. It's a big lemur.
That's a big lemur. I don't
Yeah.
want that lemur chasing me. But they also said that because it's got a thinner jawline, lower jaw,
Mhm.
that it may not have had as strong of a bite. Because usually the jaw has to be larger to handle the bigger muscles, indicating a stronger bite.
It's impossible that they just had some work done, so the jawline was up a little bit.
From the picture, it's weird, but because the eyes are different,
Mhm.
it makes this guy look a little friendlier. It almost looks like the one from Toy Story.
I think he's got a little smile.
Although I don't really want this
Show the
guy
picture of it.
chasing
You
me
got the
down.
picture?
I know. I looked at it and went, it looks happier, friendlier.
No, I mean, show the picture of it. Can you show it? Can you share it real quick?
Yeah. Hold on. I closed the tab, but I will bring it back up and go back to our view. There we go.
Yeah, it's got a little smile to him.
Doesn't it
Doesn't
look
he?
happy?
Yeah.
Get the nice little smaller eyes. Just you wouldn't want that guy chasing you down.
It's the
either.
artist rendition of this thing just after it ate.
He's got
Yes.
the chubbier cheeks, makes it a
Hmm.
little more baby like. T-Rex is Mike says T-Rex's Latin cousin who impressed all the ladies.
Right.
Or he's from Scotland. I'm T. McCrancis from the McCrancis clan.
Francis. Yeah.
In case you were wondering, it's spelled McRaeENsis. So I'm making a wild stab. I've never heard this word pronounced, but
Hmm.
McCraensis.
You know, it's pretty amazing that you know, I know we say this before, but after all this time, they're still finding what they think is new species or
There's a lot of stuff that's still buried, Craig. That's had
Oh, yeah.
millions of years. It's nuts.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, quick shout out to our patrons while we're here.
Oh, and by the way,
Yes,
shout out to my dog Clutch. He's holding the fort down.
he's holding the chair down.
That's right.
He's also wearing his tartan today, just like McCraensis. Thank you to our patrons, Alexis Duran. Let me fade that down a little bit. I'm shouting over it. Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown. I gotta reach out to him. I'm overdue for a call. Chris Martinez, Chris MC, McCraensis, maybe that's what it stands for.
Ah, that's what it is. Okay.
Andy Mancoyer, Dean Jensen. I am just stumbling all over these tonight. I know these people.
I was gonna say I know you. You know them.
Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros. I'll slow down. John Clifford, John Noble, Yorga Shrawen. We're missing Crazy Joe. You got to come back to us, Crazy Joe. Patron in waiting. Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Brad Miller. Thank you. Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media. Stephen Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Therian, Steve Webb, Steve London, Tim Cook.
There you
Ding! There, that was fun.
go. There you go.
Fade that out and stop that crazy music. They went over to the Patreon page at chuckchat.com. No, patreon.com. We should just make a short.
You mean right there?
Patreon.com/ yes, that's what it says on Technorama Podcast. I got it.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/ Technorama Podcast. For as little as $1 a show, you only pay when we produce. So, like the next few weeks where I'm gone, unless Craig's going to do a pirated bootleg show
A pirate.
with some unknown guest, which is totally plausible.
It might happen. Yeah.
Might happen. Go for it. Then you don't pay if we don't produce. So that's the cool thing.
Sure.
All right. Put the banner away. We're moving on.
All right.
That music means we've been watching stuff. I thought something got knocked out.
Well, some of us more stuff than others.
Well, a lot of these are just YouTube videos, and I'm not going to go through every one of them, but a couple of things on Netflix that I watched. One is we finished 6 Feet Under. We finally finished the 5th season.
Oh, yeah.
Good show. Wow. A lot of depth to this. And they really
Wait a minute. A lot of depth.
I got
6 foot under.
Let it go. Let it go. They really get you invested in these characters. As much as you tear your hair out and go, why are these two people even talking to each other?
Right.
Get rid of this character. When you get to the end of the series, like, wow, that was good stuff. Like the last couple 3 shows really pull out the stops on the Kleenex box.
Okay.
Another not funeral pun in there, but what have you been watching?
Well, it just started. I actually take that back. All episodes have dropped for Ted, the series, not Ted, the TV, the movie. You know, with the talking
And not
bear.
Ted, the TED Talks.
No, not that either. You're familiar with the movie, right, Ted?
The one about the bear,
Yeah, the talking bear.
Teddy Ruxpin.
No, not that talking bear either. So anyway, it's a Seth MacFarlane movie. There's 2 of them, and then this is a prequel series. So it's like in the early '90s, and so it shows. It didn't show Ted when he shows up. He's already there. He's part of the family, and it's a little adventures of him and Johnny as they're younger, or at least Johnny's younger, and it's pretty good. It's got some laugh out loud moments, but it's also got some like, it's okay. But overall, I think I'm liking it. I'm only 3 episodes in, but all episodes are dropped so at the same time. So I think there's like
Okay.
8 or 10 of them.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I'll say they did a great job with,
Mhm.
even for the budget for the series, but also in the movies, the bear looks like he belongs in the scene. It looks really good, and it's totally believable. You're watching the bear talk. It's kind of cool. Anyway,
It's a good
so,
animation.
yeah.
I went back into my Wayback Machine on Netflix and watched The Blues Brothers. Haven't seen this movie
Oh yeah,
in at least 20 years. And you think about it, it used to be on TBS once a week.
yeah. Right.
It was all the time. Of course, that was the televised version, so they had to clean up the language and some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
But there are still some very funny moments and some classic lines in there. If you haven't seen the Blues Brothers in a while and you just want to grab a quick fix, it's worth it. Um, what did they say? They wrecked like 160 cars or 100, oh my
160.
God, 104 cars and 60 of them were police cars. It was insane how much destruction they did.
Oh, that's right. All the cars that were in the mall and everywhere else.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't think. I thought you meant like the car that they were in.
Especially as they were on their way to pay the bill
Yeah.
to pay off the mortgage payment for the
Yeah.
orphanage.
I love that movie. It is classic.
And there's some, comically stupid stunts in there. Like they're reversing they're in reverse because they hit the end of the highway, and somehow they go flipping over the Ford Pinto wagon,
Yeah.
turn around and get nose first. So, they're on a mission from God, so anything can happen.
Oh, by the way, Mike Robinson says
Carrie
the
Fisher
most important thing was Carrie Fisher in there.
and Twiggy. And there are so many celebrities in there. I'm not even going to start because that
Yeah.
is a star-studded film. I don't know how they got these people, but
Yeah.
congratulations to them.
I need to watch that again. I know we've talked about rewatching old movies over and over, and that's one of them I watch from time to time. But I hadn't seen it. It's been a while since
And the
I've
music
seen it.
is
Though.
awesome. You gotta
Yeah.
hand it to the music.
Hey, watching old movies that you love is like comfort food. You can just
Yeah.
go jump back in that little world, get back out.
Everybody needs somebody. All right, what else you got on your list?
I watched. I thought I had talked about this on the previous show, but I don't. I searched and I didn't see it. The Equalizer 3.
Yes.
With Denzel Washington.
Oh, I was gonna say that used to be a TV show back in the.
It was a show, but so Denzel Washington is, of course, uh, plays the kind of like vigilante. He looks out for when he sees something that not right, he will try and straighten it out, with force. And this one was pretty good. I enjoyed it. They start off when he's going into I didn't watch the second one, which I probably should have, but I watched the third one, and he goes into this South American kind of, not castle, but compound to get some information or something from this guy. Anyway, he kills all the guys, does his thing, and he's injured. And he's in this little, I'm sorry, not South American, it's Italian, because he goes to this little Sicilian town.
Off, but that's all
I
right.
started thinking, wait a minute, I'm getting ready to say Sicily. He goes in the Sicilian town. He heals up, but he kind of falls in love with the small town.
Mhm.
Then of course, there's something going on there, and he's got to straighten that out. So that's kind of where the movie takes off. And I thought I enjoyed it. I liked it. It's got those Equalizer movies have like a slow pace. It's not like an action, piece where it's like a bunch of cuts every 4 seconds. You're watching everything.
4 is long. 2 is more the fast cut these days. But okay, go on.
But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So it's not like a fast cut chase and but it's slow and deliberate, and that's the way he is. So yeah, it was good.
All right, I'm gonna go through a whole bunch of these that I watched on YouTube, ranging anywhere from 7 minutes to an hour and a half. So one of the shorter ones is called A Brief History of the Sarov Criticality. It's about these scientists in Russia that were doing this nuclear experiment, and one guy did not follow procedure, and things went wrong, and he died horribly from radiation. There's another one called the Halifax Explosion. So Halifax Harbor up in Nova Scotia.
Mhm.
2 ships collided. One of them exploded because it was full of explosives, and
Oh,
it
no.
leveled half the town. It was just this catastrophic explosion beyond belief. And they have a monument there and remember it every year. Uh, classic robot from the 80s, the Omnibot 2000. And I've got links to all of these in the show notes if you want to see them. The $500 drink serving robot from 1985. And he
Oh,
actually,
I have. Oh, we saw that at the Computer History Museum.
we did. And the one that this guy was evaluating, he said, I've always wanted to take a look at one of these. So, listener Ernie Klein, I went, what, the Ernie Klein from
Yeah.
like Ready Player One? Yes,
Yeah.
that Ernie Klein. He had this unboxed one. So the guy's unboxing it. It turns out it doesn't work. So
Oh.
Ernie sends him a second one that does work. I'm like, what?
Oh,
That's nuts.
that's nice. Yeah.
There's the unbelievable history of strawberries, including where they get their name and how all different cultures, whether it's North America or Colombia or Europe, they all like treated these sort of as royalty. You know, it was a very upscale food. It technically it's not a berry, but we'll get into that later. It's not even a fruit.
Yeah.
What happened to the missing half of the Colosseum? So if you've been to
Oh, yeah.
Rome or you've seen pictures of it, it's kind of got that slice of the outside shell.
I thought they just lost funding and they didn't complete it.
Nope. Good
No,
history there.
actually, I think I do know what it was. Let me take a guess. If I remember right, our guide said that they were reclaiming the iron out of the building for weapons, and which caused a lot of it to collapse and break down over time.
Some, but it's all on the south side. There's different land in there. It's like a
Mhm.
softer land. So when earthquakes hit, which they do periodically, that side was more likely to crumble. Yes, they did steal the iron
Mhm.
that was holding a lot of the limestone
Yeah,
together.
'cause that
It was
when
mainly due to seismic activity. There was all kinds of looting. So they wanted the limestone to grind it down into lime to make
Mhm.
mortar for other buildings. But that's where a good chunk of what you see missing,
yeah,
like internally and externally, is.
yeah. We took a nighttime bike ride tour, and the guy was gonna go right past the Coliseum and keep going. It's like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up.
What?
I gotta stop here for a second."
At least get a
He
selfie or something. Yeah.
I know. So I took a couple close-up pictures. I couldn't touch it. I was on the other side of the fence near the
Yeah.
road,
Yeah.
but you could look up. I could see all those holes that he was
Yep.
talking about, them reclaiming the iron. So,
What else did I watch? What happened? Oh, let's see. We did that one. That time the American West blew up. There were lots of like
oh, that time. Oh, okay.
decent volcanoes in the way back time. I watch a lot
Right.
of things that are, prehistoric. The Great Chicago Fire, a Chicago Stories special documentary. So I've been watching some documentaries. The Chicago Fire is interesting. What was it October 9th, 1871? And yes, there really was a Mrs. O'Leary, and she had a cow in her barn.
Is that the one with the light that the lantern that
The cow supposedly kicked over the lantern while she was milking. It's like nobody milks their cow at 9 p.m. She got a bad rap out of that. I mean, her reputation was totally trashed, even though the true source of the fire could never be determined.
right?
I'll just leave it at that. And it destroyed a lot of things, but it also kind of cleansed the city and got them ready for the next stage. Similar thing about Chicago, the race to reverse the river. Many people know that the Chicago River no longer flows into Lake Michigan, but it flows back to the Des Plaines River. They had to cut this channel,
Yeah.
and it's very controversial. They had to do this because the city just kept putting their pollutants, including everything from the factories, everything from the meat producers. I mean, there were animal bodies floating around. It was really,
Jeez.
really disgusting. And they go, "Why is everybody getting sick?"
Yeah.
So they temporarily fixed this by putting uh, not a pumping station. They had a pumping house in town. The waterworks building, if you've ever been down on Michigan Avenue, is that building.
Mhm.
But it had a pipeline underground and underwater for 2 miles out into the lake where they had this intake. And even that wasn't quite far enough to avert some typhoid outbreaks and whatnot. So they had to do something very interesting in terms of engineering, in terms of the Native American lands. The people downstream in St. Louis were going, "Hey, now you're dumping all your crap in our water." It's like, and so are you, and nobody in New Orleans is killing, your policies.
Right.
There's a brief history of the Teton disaster, story about the Teton Dam, which happened in our lifetime, Craig. That was like 1975, 1976.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, bad disaster there. The Edmund Fitzgerald mystery. Now, I lived on Lake Superior when this happened in 75, November 10th, and have watched many a documentary. In fact, some by personal friends of mine, Fred Stonehouse being one of them, and Tom Farnquist. So they weren't in this particular one, but it covered it from a slightly different angle. I'm never opposed to rehearing a story or seeing if there's any new information from an old story. There's the ghost ship Mary Celeste, which was crossing the ocean and mysteriously everybody disappeared. And it was a
Ooh.
ghost ship. And nothing, there was no sign of violence. There was no bloodshed, no nothing. It's like everybody's just gone. And this ship that was about a day behind them, uh, it was actually slower. They left a day ahead and then they got past. And then when they caught back up to the Mary Celeste, it was adrift. Like, ooh. So a lot of theories in this one.
Right.
There's minute by minute, the eruption of Mount St. Helens. Again, our lifetime. So pretty
Yeah.
easy to recall. And
Yeah.
interesting to see who was where and what they were doing and the survivors' tales. And surprising, not more people got blown away by that thing.
Yeah.
There's the mystery of Nefertiti's bust. So you know the famous color sculpture of Nefertiti?
Yep. Yeah.
Watch this. You won't see it quite the same again. There are people that say, this is a fake.
Really?
Yeah. And by the time they get done with the show, like, I can see that. I can see that. This could be a fraud. But everybody treats it like it's in the Museum of Berlin, and Egypt is saying, hey, you stole that. And according to some of the evidence they give, they did steal it, but they won't give it back because it's too valuable. Like,
Right.
probably a fake. Oh man, it is a great show. That one wasn't too long. There's another one called Would You Fall for It, which is a show about how we've built more roads, more freeways and expressways to eliminate the traffic problem, which only and it's put on by GM, who obviously has an incentive to sell more cars. So by building more roads, you encourage more people to drive cars, and you're not solving the traffic problem. This is the only way you're really going to solve this is by having decent mass transit and
Right.
get people off of the roads.
Right.
So here we are, and a lot of these highways were federally funded initially,
Mhm.
but they only fund the building of them. The maintenance then falls to the state and local municipalities, and they need repairing every 30 years. So they're really just pushing this debt down the road, which backfired or became full impact on cities like Detroit because they literally went bankrupt trying to keep their infrastructure up to date. And now they're tearing it out, saying, nah, we don't need that freeway running through the middle of town. It's not
Right.
any good anyway.
Yeah.
What would life on Earth, what would the Earth have been like without life? This is fascinating because you really got to unwind a lot of things in terms of the atmosphere, the oceans, what did the plants do? How did they make soil? And when you get down to it, the end result is it would look a lot like primordial Earth today with volcanism,
Right.
methane and carbon dioxide atmosphere, because there was nothing evolved to process it. We would have pretty much a moonscape of a landscape
Right.
because there wouldn't be anything growing. It's like without life.
Yeah.
Wow, this is that. It was. You would still have plate tectonics, but they're just pushing the continents around, doing nothing. It's like, wow, that sounds like a good question for Dr. Carl on Triple J.
Oh, it would. Yeah.
I liked this one. The Edwardian inventions that turn normal homes into death traps. This is the Edwardian period was like in the early 1900s. And this British woman was going through the British homes and going, let's talk about electricity. That wasn't safe. You could kill yourself and nothing was standardized.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this new thing called asbestos. Like,
yeah, it'll be safe.
it was like 4 or 5 things going, holy mackerel, it's amazing anybody lived through this time.
I know, right?
Lead paint. They're still getting these things out of homes because
I know my neighbor, that's what he does.
They take decades to manifest
Yeah.
themselves as an illness and then relate it back to the cause and then be able to retrofit the environment. Like, yeah, it's taking a long time.
That's what my neighbor does. He does environmental studies on like buildings and to make sure they're like anytime they're going to take linoleum or something out of a house or a building, they have to test it for asbestos.
And then the final one I watched was What Caused the Cambrian Explosion? This is not a violent, kaboom explosion. This is the life explosion in the Cambrian period, where you start seeing trilobites and Anomalocaris and a lot of these classical things you see in these really bizarre drawings of whoa, what
Right.
life was experimenting at this time, and a lot of them went extinct. Obviously,
Right.
heaven forbid you should be attacked by an Anomalocaris. The But that what was before that and what caused that explosion? Was it environmental? Was it something evolving to it was interesting. They explored a couple different paths on that one. So again, I like this documentary and historical stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's
All
awesome.
right, you got one more? I'm sorry, I used up a lot of time, but there's just a lot of cool stuff on YouTube that I'm
Oh,
finding.
well, this one is my wife has a suspicion this is a rehash of a story she's seen from the UK, but this is it's a story on Apple Plus called Defending Jacob, where this couple's, I mean, they live in a Boston suburb. Uh, you know, everybody is affluent in this neighborhood, and all of a sudden their child is uh, accused of murder. So,
Oh,
and so
yikes.
so of course their life gets flipped upside down. So, I won't go any further than that. I'm still making our way through the series. There's like 8 episodes. It's got Chris Evans in it. Um, my wife keeps referring to him as Captain America, but anyway. So, but yeah, it seemed it's really interesting. It's captured our attention, and we're about 3 episodes in right now.
Someone give that kid a sandwich.
Yeah, right.
Gary Lindros says, I learned so much on this podcast. Sometimes.
Yeah, learns that we're a couple of idiots.
We learn a lot all the time. All
Yeah.
right, that takes us to the end. We are done with that section. I think we need some kind of stinger for the question of the week.
Bam.
How about this one?
There you go.
You can't play sounds while I'm playing because then you don't hear them.
You don't hear them.
I hear yours.
Secret news, everyone.
There you go.
Question of the week. We're bound to get in a fight over this.
That's right.
Okay, from Kyle, take your favorite superhero and give them a D&D class. So his example was the Incredible Hulk, Barbarian.
Yeah,
I would have gone with Bard on him.
Bard. Oh gosh, I had to give that one some thought.
All right, go back to Captain America. What class would you give Captain America?
Warrior
Or Paladin? Okay.
or Paladin. Yeah,
How about Wonder Woman? A lot of these are warriors, aren't they? They're just
yeah. Should be a warrior Paladin also.
orc.
Let's see what everybody else has to say.
All right, superheroes are gonna kind of classify themselves, I think, at this point. But yeah, we'll see
Maybe.
what or we could just be crazy, like you and me, and give them odd. Oh, Doctor Strange would be a magician, of course, or a wizard.
Wizard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too obvious, though. I want to take something a little more creative. Shopkeep,
Shopkeep.
barkeep.
Right.
There we go. All right, we are going to sign off here and bring you patrons your Patreon show, where we have a couple of items to discuss, questions to pose, and intriguing ideas to intrigue. Is that a thing?
Huh?
I just made a new verb. There we
Yeah.
go. That's how the world goes. Oh, that's not the right. That's the beginning sound. Here we go. That's the one we want. Thank you, everybody, for joining us online and listening later or watching later. Don't forget, if you've got a comment or you want to tell us about your superhero super class, sounds like a programming project now. The number to call us on the listener line is 707-530-2428, or you can email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got an idea for a question of the week, throw that at us too. We're always up for a new idea. We got a couple of weeks off, but we'll be back in early March to talk to you again real soon. Until then, Dr. Doom, Artificer, give us a binary high five and we'll head on out of here.
All right. 101, everybody. Roll 20.
Guess we ended a little early.
Right on time.
Punch that clock. 54 minutes and 45 seconds. Wow, it's a palindrome. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. We're going to close the live stream now and go and record our Patreon show.
Bye.
We'll talk to you again real soon. Be safe.